plaintiff, Susan Curtis, met the defendant in an online group for Seinfeld fans. And Susan claims he's a real-life George Costanza. Susan's suing because she loaned her car to the defendant and it got damaged in a flood. Defendant Jonathan Vaughn was good friends with Susan and her husband, but their friendship fell apart after the flood. Jonathan's countersuing for harassment because he claims Susan sent him vulgar text messages.
Start with you.
So I was an admin for a Seinfeld group. We are both very big Seinfeld fans. Are we not?
Yep.
We are.
All
and
right.
I think Jonathan has a very funny sense of humor.
He has an
And-
interesting disposition that people could make humor of. How's that? Go ahead.
Well, he's the George Costanza of the group. I'm going to be honest, and that's my fault for befriending him in a Seinfeld group.
Why?
Because I should have known better. That's why. But
Wasn't there? Hold on. Wasn't the relationship?
Acts like it was all bad.
Right. That's what I'm about to say. Wasn't the relationship fulfilling enough, or enjoyable enough that you don't regret the relationship? You might be upset about the car damage, but you shouldn't regret a fun relationship.
that's what I thought before I was sued for harassment.
Oh, okay. So, why don't you give me some background on your friendship and whatever else you'd like me to know?
We met about 2 years ago in St. Louis. We were both obviously big Seinfeld fans and seen we lived close to each other, so decided to hang out. And I became good friends with both Susan and her husband and started hanging out and everying. That was
How did it go, the friendship?
great up until the flood happened. Like, everything was good.
Yeah, you trying to be funny, or you that
No,
old?
I'm being dead serious.
The flood was 10,000 years before Christ.
No.
I'm better than Seinfeld, see? Why are we suing for what happened with the car damages you're suing him over?
So he left the car in floods in St. Louis. At the very least, it was $2,200 for the detail. They had to remove all of the seats, all of the interior.
I don't know anything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
about
I'm
what
sorry.
happened.
So Jonathan had a car of his own that he a tree fell on it, and he was concerned that he wouldn't have a car for work, etc. And because I had the spare car, I lent it to him.
You loaned it to him?
Correct, last August, and
All
we
right.
let
For
him.
how long was he
For
intended?
1 year, he was supposed to have it. He was supposed to return it on August 1st, maintained and detailed. And instead, he let it sit there for several days in the water, totally unaware that this is damaging the car. And while he was doing that, he's on Facebook
What was his
posting
option?
Seinfeld memes all
What
day.
was his option?
His options were to pay for the car.
No, I'm referring
Oh.
when the car was stuck in a flood.
Yes.
What could he have done? You say he left it in a flood.
Correct.
And I'm asking what was his other alternative?
His other alternative would be to call myself or my husband. We have a parking lot and a parking garage. Both the lot is elevated off the street. We also had a house where we could
never
have parked
called
it.
you?
He never called me. In fact, he had
She
the
also
audacity to
never-
tell me that he was going to tow the car if I didn't come and get it.
Okay. I guess the reason I asked that, because, I'm sensitive to flooding, as you are,
Of
as
course.
everybody is, I'm
Of
sure,
course.
based on what we're seeing happening around the country these days as a result of climate change. And knowing climate change isn't the 4 seasons of the year, folks. Please read up about climate change. Somebody asked me that the other day. What's climate change, Judge? That the 4 seasons of the year?
No.
Need a little more reading.
Defendant Jonathan Vaughn was friends with the plaintiff, but he claims she harassed him by sending him vulgar text messages.
How many inches was the water? How big of
It
a
was
flood?
10 inches of rain in under 4 hours. And I received national storm warnings on my phone not to drive unless I was being evacuated.
Yes.
I called the fire department to confirm this lie, and it's incorrect. He was evacuated in a flood, and then he tried to tell me with this car that I had to get it out because the fire department was evacuating, and my house just burned down. I'm not about to call the fire department, the emergency line, to figure that out. They have better things to do. So he lied to me, said the fire department. He's risking them too, because what if I thought that the car was out there?
How long was the car out there,
How long was it out there?
sir?
So the 26th.
I don't know what that means. How many days, ma'am? You should know.
It was, to be honest, it was about 4 days, but my house didn't have a roof on it.
How
because
long did
burned.
it take the waters to recede?
2.
Okay, so when did you call her about it?
I messaged her husband about it.
Where?
How long after the flood, or how long
Was
after you saw
The
it flood?
29th.
Pardon?
It's the 29th.
Yeah, I don't know.
July 29th.
When did the
3
flood
days
start?
after.
3 days?
3 days.
Why 3 days?
Because I had to be evacuated. I was staying at a community center.
I know,
in
so
friend's
that's the
house.
reason you used to call. You
Yeah.
abandoned the woman's car in a flood because you have to be evacuated. You don't wait 3 days after that to call and tell them. Counterclaim for what? How does she owe you?
For harassment, for calling and leaving vulgar text messages and voicemails on my
it.
phone.
You deserved it. You leave somebody's car flooded and don't even call them for 3 days. Counterclaim is dismissed. Yours is granted. Have
Thank
a
you, Your
good
Honor.
day.
Oh, go Buffalo! Let's go. Go Bills. All I got for you. And I love my mom, and she's here with me. That's it.